Hare Krishna, everybody. So we'll continue from where we left. That was the 6th chapter. We are beginning the 7th chapter now. For those who are new, we are doing the complete overview of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are trying to do in 22 sessions. Every session we'll try to cover a few chapters. So, Narad Muni, he instructed Vedavyasji to write Srimad Bhagavatam. And after Naradji left, Vedavyas started meditating on the instructions given by Naradji. And when he was meditating, he was able to realize the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's where Vedavyasji, he revised the Bhagavatam. Jiva Goswami Pad in Tattva Sandarbha, he says that when Vedavyas compiled the 18 Puranas, he already compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam as well. But it was in a small format. When he received instructions from Narad Muni, that is the time where Vedavyasji, he revised his previous edition. Sometimes the authors, they publish a book and then they realize, oh, this part is missing in that. So they revise the book and bring up a better version in the second edition of the book. So this is what happened. That when Vedavyasji, along with the Puranas, he also compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. But he did not realize that it was a Mahapurana. So when Narad Muni instructed Vedavyas about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's where Vedavyasji, he revised and brought Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana. That's the version which we have currently. So, after discussing these pastimes, Sutta Goswami Pad began to describe about the Lord Krishna's various pastimes, including the life and activities of Parikshit Maharaj. So when the respective warriors of both the camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield, the 64 crore people, they actually gathered in front of each other on the Kurukshetra battlefield. And many of them, 64 crore, and very few were left actually. And but the Dhritarashtra's, the reason of this whole fight was the reason that Dhritarashtra Maharaj was blinded for establishing the actual dharma. So the whole world was divided into two parts. One was with the Kauravas, one was with the Pandavas. Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, sided always towards Duryodhana. When the whole battle was, almost over, and Yudhishthira Maharaj was supposed to take the kingdom, right? But Ashwathama did not give up. Ashwathama was alive. Ashwathama was a very crooked-hearted person. He, because of the bad association of Duryodhana, he became very crooked. Although he was the son of a Brahman, although his father was very elevated, his father was Dronacharya, but still, because of him associating with personalities like Dronacharya, Shakuni and others, he also was misguided and misleaded. So what did Ashwathama do? Ashwathama was encouraged by some of his fellow friends to cut off the head of the Pandavas in the dead of the night. But what happened actually was that when Ashwathama went and he thought that these are the Pandavas, he actually cut off the 5 sons of Draupadi. Imagine dead of a night when someone is sleeping, someone comes with a big knife and cuts off the head of 5 people. Early morning when this news spread, Arjuna became mad. And Arjuna promised Draupadi, I will bring the head of Ashwathama. Ashwathama was thinking that his act of killing the 5 sons of Pandavas will please Duryodhana. So he very gladly, very happily broke the news to Duryodhana. Duryodhana was still alive. He was on the deathbed, but he was alive. So he broke the news, expecting that at least my master, Duryodhana, will be pleased with me at the last days of his life. But Duryodhana also chastised Ashwathama that you shouldn't be doing that. Although Duryodhana had so many bad qualities, but this act was not appreciated even by Duryodhana. And Ashwathama, he decided that now what to do. So he started running because he knew Arjuna will be behind him. Arjuna, along with Lord Krishna, started chasing Ashwathama. And Ashwathama's horses became very tired. And Ashwathama knew that now Arjuna is going to come and kill him. So Ashwathama had no option. But Ashwathama was very learned in the science of the art of the weapons. He knew all the astras, divyastras. He had all the brahmastras with him, access to brahmastra also. So he finally decided that let me take out the brahmastra now, because it is for my protection. If I don't do this, I'll be killed. So Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, he chants the mantra for brahmastra and he releases that brahmastra. So brahmastra is more powerful than today's nuclear weapons. If you compare nuclear weapons to current nuclear weapons to this brahmastra, nuclear weapons are like, small cracker, which we burn during Diwali time. Whereas brahmastra can actually destroy a planet. So Ashwathama, he released the brahmastra, but he did not knew the science of retrieving it back. So he released, and Arjuna saw that that brahmastra is coming towards him. Initially he did not know what was going on, but then Arjuna was with Krishna and he immediately took shelter of Krishna. He glorified him. He said he glorified Krishna, that Krishna, you appear in this world for protecting those who are in need. So you come here to protect your devotees. So please tell me what is going on here. And then he said, this is the act of the son of Dronacharya. Ashwathama has released a weapon. So Arjuna said, now what I have to do? Krishna said, you release the weapon also and counteract the brahmastra of Ashwathama and then retrieve both of them. So Arjuna circumvented Lord Krishna, took his permission and released the brahmastra, and both the brahmastra collided, and it was a big collision. And then by the desire of the Lord, Arjuna was able to retrieve both the brahmastras. And then Ashwathama was arrested by Arjuna. And Arjuna, he wanted to kill Ashwathama because he promised Draupadi. But as soon as he caught hold of Ashwathama, he immediately realized that Ashwathama's father, Dronacharya, taught me the science of using the weapons. He is the son of my guru. How can I do that? Although he is a murderer, he is a heinous person, but still, I cannot kill him. So Krishna started chastising him. He was testing him in whether he knows religion or not. So finally, Ashwathama was brought in front of Draupadi, and everybody assembled there. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Nakul, Sahadev, Bhima, and everybody. And all of them, they gave their opinion. Kill this rascal, do this, do this, do this. So most of them, finally they were agreed that Ashwathama should not be killed. Why? Because his father has contributed in our lives. So how can we kill the son of a Brahmana? Although he is the most fallen of the Brahmana, one of most fallen, but still he is the son of a Brahmana. He is a Brahmana. So Draupadi forgave Ashwathama and told Arjuna, don't kill him. But Bhima said, if you don't kill, I will kill. Bhima was very angry. So Lord Krishna told Arjuna, now you decide what has to be done. You should pacify Bhima, know my orders and what is in the scriptures, also pacify everyone here, and also you should punish the person. He has killed, he has did a wrong act, so he needs to be punished. So finally, Arjuna, he took out the sword, and there was a jewel on Ashwatthama's forehead. He removed that jewel, and then he shaved him off half mustache and half. So it was like that, and he was released. So Ashwatthama was offended by this very badly. So that's how the son of Drona was punished very badly. And then Lord Krishna, he actually he planned now to go to Dwarka. So many months Krishna spent with Arjuna, the Pandavas. He fought the battle. He established dharma. It was now time that Yudhishthira Maharaj to be coronated as a king. And now Krishna knew that everything is going to happen. He doesn't need to stay here now, because the devotees in Dwarka, his wives, 16,108 wives, were waiting for Krishna. For them, even the moment of separation was like a separation of a millennium. And they were all waiting, they were all crying, they were all lamenting. So Krishna sat on the chariot, and he was greeting everybody goodbye, and he was just about to go. At that time, Uttara, the wife of Abhimanyu, Uttara, she comes running. Krishna, please protect me, What happened? And now everybody was observing this. Everybody was observing this, that Uttara has come running, asking for help from Krishna, because Ashwatthama has released Brahmastra again. And while they were discussing that, 5 Brahmastras were coming towards the Pandavas, and one was coming towards Parikshit in the womb of the Uttara. And the Pandavas, the most powerful Pandavas, when they saw 5 Brahmastras coming towards each one of them, they tried to take out their weapons, but it was not possible for them to protect themselves. Krishna, Bhaktavatsal Lord Shri Krishna, Adbhut Karma Shri Krishna, took out the Sudarshan Chakra, and with his Sudarshan Chakra he nullified all the 5 Brahmastras that were coming towards Pandavas. And this is how he protected all the Pandavas. Then here Uttara comes running and begs for, she begs, asking for protection. And Krishna, understanding the whole scenario, Supreme Lord, he is as Paramatma in the hearts of every living entities, right? So he enters the womb of Uttara. Krishna is outside, standing in front of everyone. At the same time, he enters the womb of Uttara, and everybody there who were unalloyed devotees, they were able to see this whole Leela, this pastimes, but how Krishna entered the womb of Uttara and protected Parikshit Maharaj. So when Parikshit Maharaj was when Parikshit Maharaj saw that someone was circumambulating. Now Lord Krishna, what was he doing? He was carrying club, and he was carrying Sudarshan. And with both these weapons, he was circumambulating Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. So our Acharyas asked the question, why is the Lord using these two things? He could, outside by standing, he with his Sudarshan Chakra, he nullified 5 Brahmastras. And here inside the womb of the mother, he is using 2 weapons. For what? So some of the Acharyas write that Krishna was thinking, if Sudarshan fails, my devotee shall not die. So let me have an alternative ready with me. So that if Sudarshan fails, I will have something else to protect. So that was so Krishna was actually personally protecting Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. And Parikshit Maharaj was fortunate to see the Lord Krishna in the womb of the mother itself. Now, all these things were seen by Kunti Maharani. And Kunti Maharani started to glorify Lord Krishna. Kunti Maharani saying, Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishvare prakrute param alaksham sarvabhutanam antar bahiravastitam. So now Kunti Maharani offers various prayers. She's saying, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. Now Kunti Maharani, she's saying that you are the original personality. She is aunt of Krishna, but now she is offering obeisances as a devotee. Very interesting, Krishna's aunt is offering prayers to Krishna. So Krishna has to touch the feet of Kunti Maharani. Krishna has to touch the feet of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj has to give blessings. That may you live long. May you always eternally reside in Dwarka. Like that, some blessings is to give it. But here Kunti Maharani is offering her prayers. That you are the original personality and you are unaffected by the qualities of the material. You exist both within and without everything. And Kunti Maharani, she was saying Krishnaya, she was praying Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya, Shananda Gopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. I want to offer my respectful obeisances to you because you are giving pleasure to Devaki. You are giving pleasure to Nanda Maharaj. You are giving pleasure to Vrindavan Vasis, and you are actually give pleasure to the senses. And then he further says, Namaha Pankajanabhaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Namaha Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre. She's saying that everything about you is lotus. Your abdomen is marked with the depression of a lotus flower. Your face is like a lotus. Your glances is like a lotus. So everything is sweet in your life. And because of your presence, our life is sweet. So I cannot go a lot in detail of this because we are doing an overview. But Kunti Maharani is Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaya Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalyapataya Namaha. She is saying that you have nothing to do with the actions and the reactions of this world. Krishna comes here, he does lot of things. For ordinary people, he is an ordinary person. But for devotees, they know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Kunti Maharani is saying that you have nothing to do with the actions and the reactions of the modes of material nature. You are self-satisfied, you are Atmaram, and therefore you are the most gentle and you are the master of all the monists. And there are so many prayers where she is saying that Kunti Maharani says that your birth, your activities, everything is transcendental. And you have appeared here to establish dharma. You have appeared here. What is the mission of the Lord when he comes here? The mission of the Lord is to attract the conditioned souls towards him. The Lord comes here, he performs his pastimes. And all the conditioned souls, they hear those leelas, they see the leelas of the Lord and they get attracted and they become devotees of the Lord. But one might say that what is the situation now? The Lord is not there. Right? The Lord is not there. So what is the situation now? The Lord is still there. All those pastimes the Lord has performed are recorded in the form of Bhagavatam. And the devotees of the Lord, the sadhus, the mahajan, they sing, they glorify the Lord's pastime from Bhagavatam. And they do the same thing. They establish the lost relationship of the people with Krishna. So the mission of the Lord is still going on because Krishna is there in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. The mission has not stopped. The mission of attracting the conditioned souls is still going on, and Srimad Bhagavatam is doing that. The devotees of the Lord are doing that. And she remembers that so many difficulties her family has gone through. Pandavas, they have gone through so much difficulties. They were put to suffering from the hands of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Several times, several attempts were made to kill them. The Lakshagraha incident we all know. All the Pandavas, they were given, they were told that this is a retreat. Go for a retreat. But they go there, and then the plan was to burn them to ashes. Somehow by the Lord's will, they are protected. Similarly, when Bhima was very, very, very young, he was being fed with poison. Like that, there are numerous incidences where the Kauravas made attempts to kill Dhritarashtra, kill the sons of Pandav. And Kunti Maharani remembers all of them. And she was saying, just now I saw that Ashwathama was trying to kill my Uttara's son. And she's telling, let such incident happen with me again and again. All this incident, all this bad, all these problems, all these obstacles, let it happen again and again in my life. who has such courage to ask Krishna that, my dear Lord, all those difficult times which I have gone through, I want that back, and I want it every day. Every day. All those problems, all those sufferings, all this lamentation, because in those moments, my remembrance of you is at the peak. I literally remember you 24 hours. So Kunti Maharani is saying, I want that kind of difficulties, that kind of problems, because you are easily available. But now you are going. She is saying, now you are going. And everything what we have achieved is also going to go. This Mother Earth, Mother Earth is giving everything. When Lord Krishna was on the planet, Mother Earth was giving all the required things which are essential for the people in general. Everything was given. But now, all the name, fame, pratishtha what the Pandavas got, because of whom? It was because of Krishna. And Kunti Maharani is saying, now we are going. So everything will go. So that was the Kunti Maharani was concluding that we are very fortunate that you are actually very merciful to us than Mother Devaki. Because for Mother Devaki, when she was in trouble, when her sons' children were in trouble, you did not rescue her. You allowed those sons to die. But when my sons were in trouble, you personally came and rescued them. So there is a difference. You are more compassionate. You are more caring for me. So I offer my respectful obeisances to you again and again. So when Kunti Maharani ji was glorifying, the Lord accepted those prayers with a smile. And at that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj came to stop Krishna. And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I don't want to accept the kingdom, my dear Lord. I don't want this kingdom. So before the battle, Arjuna was lamenting. After the battle, Yudhishthira Maharaj was lamenting. Before the battle, Arjuna said, in the middle of the battlefield, in the middle of both the armies, in the middle of, can you imagine Bhagavad Gita, where what is spoken? Krishna should have sat nicely on the Vyasasana, right? And he could have very nicely spoken the Bhagavad Gita. But where did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita? In the middle of the battlefield. Imagine the councils were blown. Krishna, Kauravas and the Pandavas, they were opposite of each other. Councils were blown, and only the war was about to start. At that time, Arjuna requests the Lord, that my dear Lord, can you please take me in the middle of the army? He said, okay. What's the problem? I'll take you. So Lord drives the chariot in the middle of the army, and then Krishna stands up. He stands and says, look, your uncle, your chacha, and he said, your grandfather, your Guru Maharaj. Everybody is there. Your cousins, and everybody is there. And Arjuna starts, Arjuna said, oh my God, I have to fight with all these people. I have to fight with Gurudev. I have to fight with Pitama Bhishma. And then he said, oh my Gandhiva is going from my hands. Oh, I cannot fight Krishna. Whatever, even if I have to get the kingdom of the Swarga, I don't want it. What is the use of this kingdom if these people are not there in the world? I don't want to fight. And so Arjuna, and Krishna said to Arjuna, okay, so should I declare that the war is over? That Arjuna wants to take sannyas? That Yudhishthira Maharaj, let's go back. We are wasting your time. We're all foolish here. And then Arjuna got bewildered and he surrendered to Krishna. Karpanne doshopahata svabhava prashyamitam dharma sambuddha chetta yashaya syarishitam bruhitam me shishyasteham shadimam namatam. Now here the situation was also very unusual, and then Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna and relieved him. And then Arjuna told to Krishna, Karishya vachanam tava. Krishna spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita. Now Krishna is a coach, not a counselor. Okay, you don't understand. There's a huge difference. If you see, when Krishna, Arjuna asked for counsel, and Krishna gave the Bhagavad Gita, spoke the Bhagavad Gita, and then you take the decision. Krishna did not force his decision onto him. You do not do that. There's a difference. When people ask you for counseling, you give your verdict. What has to be done? But you don't know the real situation. So best is to encourage people to come to their own decision. So here, Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna and told, if you want, I can repeat it again. So you decide what you have to do. And Arjuna said, Karishya vachanam tava. Whatever you say, I will do. And he said, then I want you should fight. So fight for Arjuna. So he fought. Here Yudhishthira Maharaj was lamenting. Why was he lamenting? Oh, the whole battle was fought because of me. I am responsible for this. And now I have to accept the kingdom. I don't want to accept the kingdom. I am a very sinful man. So everybody started to explaining the Yudhishthira Maharaj. Who started explaining? Vedavyasji. The personality who wrote 4 lakh verses. He is very learned, very scholarly. Vedavyas. When we say scriptures, it means Vedavyasji. That Vedavyas was trying to convince who? Yudhishthira Maharaj. Was he getting convinced? No. Dhome Rishi started convincing him. Was he getting convinced? No. So many other rishis came and trying to convince Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was getting convinced? No. Krishna himself. Adbhut Karmana Krishna himself was trying to convince Yudhishthira Maharaj. Was he getting convinced? No. How come? Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the Paramatma in the hearts of other living entities, and he is trying to convince someone who is not getting convinced. How can this be possible? Right? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives an explanation. He says, Lord is Adbhut Karmana. From outside, he was trying to explain to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and then as Paramatma in the heart of Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was not allowing Yudhishthira Maharaj to accept what all of them were saying. Why? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was bewildered by the Lord. For what is the purpose? Because Krishna wanted to establish the glories Pitama Bhishma. It was high because Pitama Bhishma was on the bed of arrows. He was in his last pastimes. He was performing his last pastimes. He was about to leave his body. So the Lord decided it is now the time that Pitama Bhishma be established as a Mahajan all across the world. Let the world not think, let the history writers not think that Pitama Bhishma, because he fought on behalf of the Kauravas, that means he performed adharma. No. And then Krishna said to Yudhishthira Maharaj, so Yudhishthira, what do you think of Pitama Bhishma? Do you have faith in Bhishma Pitama? He said, yes, of course. So will you accept whatever he says? Yes, of course. Whatever Pitama Bhishma says, I'll accept. Why? Because he knows, as per the time, as per the place, as per circumstances, what is dharma. So let's go. So all of them, they went. The Pitama Bhishma was there. And Pitama Bhishma, everybody, all of them, they came there and they all touched Pitama's feet. Yudhishthira Maharaj, all the Pandavas, everybody touched Pitama's feet. Krishna also touched the feet of Pitamaha Bhishma. And Yudhishthira Maharaj sat down nearby. And when Pitama Bhishma was on the on the bed of arrows, he was going to speak his last talk in this body. So all the great personalities, all the great Mahajanas from all across the globe, all across the universe, they all came to hear the last talk of Pitama Bhishma. Great personalities came. And they all sat down. Can you imagine someone on the bed of arrows is going to give a Bhagavatam seminar. He's going to speak on the so many different subject matters. So Pitamaha Bhishma, he knew the problem of Yudhishthira Maharaj. That Yudhishthira Maharaj was not accepting the kingdom and everything. He knew very well. So Pitamaha Bhishma started saying that Krishnam cha tat prabhavagya asinam jagdishwaram hridayastam pujayamasa maya utpata vigraham. Pitamaha Bhishma started saying to Yudhishthira Maharaj and everyone that Lord Krishna is situated in everyone's heart. He manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. The Pitama Bhishma is saying to everybody there. And this Lord, this Supreme Lord is sitting in front of all of us. This is actually a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Pitama, I am worshipping this personality. Pitama Bhishma is saying to Yudhishthira Maharaj that Aho Kashtam Aho Jnanam Yaduyam Dharma Nandana Jivitam Nartham Klishtam Vipra Dharmachutashraya. Pitama Bhishma is saying to Pandavas that what all terrible sufferings you have gone through. All of us as devotees, we are here today, but all of us have gone through terrible sufferings in our life. So many ups and downs have come in our life. And we have crossed all those tests, and today we are sitting here at the lotus feet of Narasimhadev. And there are so many tests going to come. Exams are not over. Exams are over. Exams will get over when we are on the last, final, taking our last breath. Till that time, we will experience exams. So, Pitama Bhishma is saying that a lot of injustice has happened to you. You have suffered a lot. And you did not deserve even to remain alive in these circumstances. But still you are alive. You know why? Because you have taken shelter of three. This is for all of us also. We also have to take shelter of three things. Vipra, Dharma, Achyut, Ashraya. Vipra means Brahmanas, the sadhus. Dharma, we should always follow Dharma. We should always follow what is right. And Achyutashraya, we should take shelter of Achyuta. These three are the assets of the devotees. If we follow these three things, we'll pass all the exams coming in our life. And Pitama Bhishma was saying that I can see my daughter-in-law Kunti, she became a widow with many children, and therefore she also suffered greatly. And after, when you were children, she suffered, and now when you're grown up, also she is suffering. So, who is to be blamed? Yudhishthira. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj's problem was he was considering himself responsible for all this battle. So Pitama Bhishma is now constructively helping him to understand that you are not the cause of all the losses, it's Krishna. He is saying, Sarva Kala Pratam Manne Bhavatam Chedat Priyam Sapalo Yadvashe Loka Vayoreva Ghanavali. He was saying that, in my opinion, all these things which are happening in the life of the Pandavas, in our life also, is all because of inevitable time. Under whose control every planet is there. And he's saying that, just imagine, all of you, Yudhishthira Maharaj knows Dharma very well. Arjuna is there in their team. The Gandhivdhari Arjuna is there. Bhima is there. Nakul and Sahadev is there. Krishna himself is there. But all of this put together, such a team together, still there is what? Troubles in the life of the devotees. Imagine Yudhishthira Maharaj the Pandavas had Krishna with them, and the Pandavas themselves were very, very powerful. Still there were difficulties in their life. So what has to be said for all of us? If we find some difficulties in our life, why is there need to be afraid of? The life of the Pandavas are kept in the Bhagavatam so that we all can take inspiration from it. And Pitama Bhishma is saying that all this is the plan of the Lord. And then Yudhishthira is saying, but how to know that? This is the plan of the Lord. Many people question, how to know this? This is the plan of the Lord. What is happening in my life is the plan of the Lord or plan of Maya? Or it is my plan? Whose plan is this? This is our question, right? And so Pitama Bhishma said this is all happening because of the plan of the Lord, and he's saying that even the great philosopher also, they get bewildered. Do not try to understand the plan of the Lord. because they also will get bewildered. And then Pitama Bhishma is establishing Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's saying, Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Bhuman. Hey Yudhishthir, hey Arjun, hey Bhim, do you know who is Krishna? Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Bhuman. He is no other than inconceivable Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Adi Narayan. And what is he doing? He is a Supreme Enjoyer. What is he doing? He is moving amongst the descendants of Vrishni. Just like one of us. He is roaming amongst us like one of us. But he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the causes of all the causes. It is not an ordinary thing. Do not consider him as an ordinary person like you and me. He is Sakshat Narayan. He is Adi Narayan. And then further he says, Yasyanu Bhavam Bhagavan Veda Bhuyatavam Shivaha Devarshi Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapil Nrupa. And whatever I am saying, there are 12 Mahajanas who know this. The Bhagavan Kapila knows this. Vedas know this. Shiva knows this. Narada knows this. Everybody knows this. And you, Yudhishthir, out of love, out of ignorance, I'll say out of ignorance, you considered him as your maternal cousin, you consider him as your friend, you consider him as your well-wisher, you consider him as benefactor, messenger, you did everything with him. Krishna used to, we don't have so much time, but Krishna did everything for them. Krishna became a driver for them. Krishna became the driver of Arjuna. Driver's role, if you go in, the driver, what does he do? When the owner comes, or the owner of the car comes, he opens the door, makes him sit, and then he goes and then he drives, right? Krishna used to be like that. Whenever he used to drive the car in the front of Arjuna's tent, and he used to wait for Arjuna has to come, Krishna has to put his hand, and Arjuna has to put the hand on Krishna's hand, then he has to get into chariot. And while getting down also, Arjuna used to hold Krishna has to jump out first, hold Arjuna's hand, bring him down, and that's how he was used to do. And Krishna used to personally bathe the horses of Arjuna's chariot. He used to personally take care of them. And he used to do everything for giving pleasure, because that's what he liked. That's what he liked. So, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is present in everyone's heart. He is equally kind to everyone, and he is free from the false ego of differentiation. Therefore, he is free from all kinds of material inability. So Pitama Bhishma is trying to establish Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is trying to help everybody understand that please simply do what Krishna is saying. And then Pitama Bhishma started to speak on so many different subject matters, He started to speak on Dan Dharma, the Dharma of charity, Raja Dharma, how a king should rule, Moksha Dharma, how about the salvation. He started speaking on Stri Dharma, what should the conduct of the woman should be. Bhagavad Dharma, he spoke on the Bhagavad Dharma Tattva. He spoke on so many different subject matters. And finally, after speaking on so many different subject matters, the time came and the sun entered the northern hemisphere. And at that time, Pitama Bhishma knew that it is time for him to go. So he withdrew his senses and withdrew his talks from all different subject matters, and he started focusing on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He fixed his mind unto the Lord and started glorifying Krishna's name, fame and pastimes. And then, singing the glories of the Lord, Pitama Bhishma, fixing his mind in Krishna, he left the world. And when Pitama Bhishma left the world, all the great personalities assembled there, they all showered flowers on Pitama Bhishma. All the 14 planetary systems, each and every one in the 14 planetary system, they all came and showered flowers on Pitama Bhishma. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj accepted the kingdom. Then he accepted the kingdom very happily, and he ruled very nicely. His kingdom was compared to the kingdom of Lord Ramachandra. When Lord Ramachandra was there, he was ruling the kingdom, whole earth. At that time, earth gave its tax. How the rivers paid the tax. How the river pays the tax? By giving whatever is essential. How the mountains pay the tax? By giving all the minerals and everything whatever is essential. So everybody was doing their respective duty in Yudhishthira Maharaj's kingdom. So the whole world was very happy. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he accepted the kingdom, and then Lord Krishna went and asked permission from Yudhishthira Maharaj to leave for Dwarka. And finally Yudhishthira Maharaj gave the permission. And then all the preparations for Lord departure to Dwarka happened. Uddhava, Satyaki and all, they started, all the arrangements were made, and the Lord sat on the chariot and everybody followed. And the women of Hastinapur, they all gathered on the palaces, and they're watching the Lord's, they're taking the final darshan of the Lord as the Lord was departing for Dwarka. And they were glorifying the Lord's name, fame, pastimes, whatever they knew. And here the Lord's intimate servants, they were all glorifying, and different. Some of them are using charmer, some of them were using different kinds of ways to serve the Lord. Arjuna was holding the umbrella, for example. So in this way, all of them they were rendering some service, and all of them, they went till a certain distance to see the Lord, and then the Lord himself said, all of you can go back now to Hastinapur. In this way, the Lord departed for Dwarka, and he went through various provinces, and finally he reached Dwarka after so many months. And when Lord Krishna reached Dwarka, he played his conch shell. And as soon as he played the conch shell, everybody in Dwarka left their respective services, whatever they were doing, and they all rushed to the gate of Dwarka, to the main gate of Dwarka. And they were very, very happy, very, very pleased to see Dwarkadish. They saw the darshan of the Lord, and everybody, including the prostitutes, everybody was offering obeisances to the Lord. And there were people who loved Krishna out of parental affection, so they greeted him in certain way. Some of them were Krishna's friends, some of them were servants of Krishna. Some of them, so each one of them offered their respectful, regards to the Lord, and the Lord reciprocated to each one of them accordingly. To each one of them he was reciprocating accordingly, and finally the Lord entered the Dwarka Dham, actually the palace, and he met his parents, met his mother, met his father, and the mother, as soon as they saw Krishna, the milk started coming out from the breast of the mother, and that is because of the Vatsalya. And when all these things were happening, and then finally, after greeting everybody, meeting everybody, Krishna finally went to his palace of his wives. 16,000 palaces, and they all saw Krishna. And Krishna entered all the palaces in one time. One Krishna. He expanded himself into 16,108, and he entered but before that could happen, all the wives of Krishna, they first embraced Krishna in their heart, and then they sent their children to embrace the father. And when Krishna embraced the children, then gradually the whole thing was such that Krishna entered the palace. And that's how we end our today's discussion. Any questions you may have, we can take those. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
You spoke about Lord's feature being described. Lotus, glorifying Lord's feature. We often hear the qualities of the lotus. One is where it is the flower, another one, although it can be found in dirty waters, unclear waters, it's always beautiful and untouched by these waters. I'm just wondering if there are other reasons, maybe that the Lord's different features, other parts are always described with the lotus flower.
Actually, the Lord's form, cannot be come back to the lotus. Because lotus is from the material world. And the Lord's body is transcendental. Okay. So there cannot be any comparison like this. But for us to relate to, this comparison is done because there is no other way to give an analogy but to a beautiful, because lotus is very beautiful. And for us to understand, for the people in general, for the devotees to relate to. But if you ask that is Lord like lotus? Definitely not. Is anything is Lord like lotus? No. It is far, far, far more beautiful than that can be. It cannot be compared. But just to help our mundane mind understand or relate to, this comparison is often done. Otherwise, it is far, far more superior. The Lord's beauty, the Lord's glance, the Lord's, everything about the Lord. Madhuram, madhuram, vadanam, madhuram. Everything is sweeter and everything is far, far more beautiful. That beauty is of the transcendental nature. And lotus is a part of the material world. Anything else? Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for wonderful summary of Srimad Bhagavatam. I switched to Bhagavad Gita because you mentioned. Just have a question.
I watch your videos, by the way.
You know Adma Prabhu. Actually, we can talk later. Doing Bhagavad Gita podcasts now, maybe we can record something. The question is, Arjuna asked Krishna to come in front of the battlefield, and then all of a sudden Arjuna got bewildered, and Krishna spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita, and the whole battlefield, everyone was waiting or what? Because Acharyas, they don't describe it, I've never read it about.
Yes, so everybody in the battlefield heard the Bhagavad Gita. Because Pitama Bhishma instructed everybody to hear what was being said. And naturally from the side of the Kauravas, they were all, anyways, from the Pandavas side, anyways, they were seeing what was happening. So all the 64 crore people on the battlefield, they heard. But how, one might say, how they can hear? Because it was happening in the middle of the army. So how everybody heard? Vayudev. He made sure that the vibrations which was coming out from the talks, the discussion, it became audible to each and everyone there. And the beauty of this battle was that anybody or everybody who died in the battlefield, this battle, Kurukshetra battle, they attained Vaikuntha. Why? Because they all left their bodies in front of the Lord. Krishna has actually delivered all of them. So all those who left their bodies, this was a special battle. Usually, any battle which is a spot, if a soldier dies, he automatically is promoted to the heavenly planets. But here was a special battle. Anybody who was dying was been elevated to the abode of the Lord. Because Lord Krishna's name is Hari. Sarva Amangal Hare Prema Diya Hariman. So all the inauspiciousness in the lives of all those people there was taken away by Lord Hari. And Krishna has delivered them actually.
So it was not just Sayucha Mukti, it was, you went back to Vaikuntha.
They went to Vaikuntha. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is very interesting Acharya. He writes all those things. This is all he has explained. Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Thanks for an interesting lecture. You were mentioning about giving data about 5 ways one can approach and read Bhagavatam. Not sure if you have time.
We will discuss that. That when the time comes. This is just a second session. There are 20 more sessions to go.
How many chapters did we cover, Anthony?
Today till 11 chapters. As per my schedule, I'm lacking behind.
It's no.
But I'll cover up tomorrow. Today the engine has started. Tomorrow it will be on the fast track.
It will be every day, morning and evening?
Yeah. Yes. Every morning during Bhagavatam class, every evening this time. In UK, some few months back, I was in UK. I spoke the entire Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days. 2 hours every day. That means in 14 sessions. 14 hours we did it. So here, the Nursing Dev is very kind. He is allowing some more time. There every day I covered 50 chapters. So it was very interesting. Anyways. Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
I have a small question. You mentioned 3 ways or 3 things to which we should surrender: Vipra, Dharma, and
Achyut Ashraya. Achyut means Lord Krishna. Vipra means the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, Sadhus. Dharma means following the principles of Bhagavad Dharma. Achyuta means Lord Krishna. So as devotees we should be taking shelter of these 3.
Is this spoken by Vishnu?
Yeah. Why will I speak on my own?
This one, it's Vishnu or something.
Pitama Vishnu spoke this. Okay? Hare Krishna. Granthashvan Bhagavatam ki.